Just about set for a start. Happy to have you with us, and we are underway here on Thursday Night Primetime. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
The Dolphins take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Good. Winning team.
Now Tua. They set up the screen. Rachel has it. 4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. Second down. When you look at this Buffalo defense, they really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
And it was the pass rush that really keyed their victory. Got to the quarterback 6 times for sacks and plenty of other turbulence in the pocket for him as well.
Tagovailoa working out of the gun. That's going to be caught by Water. And Water going to have a Dolphins first down as he'll get this up to the 33. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. Thursday night game. I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook. Those are the best for you. You know what else you're looking for? So who are the freshest guys coming off the last game on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
2nd and 6.
Go ahead.
Here's Tua. It's Darren Waller. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that 8 or 9 point that we used to have in the old days. But you can flex in that. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's a real short defense.
Brings up 2nd and
plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
Still 9 yards to go on 2nd down from the 27. And they'll send Waddle in motion left. Tua going to throw. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And he will take it in for the Dolphins touchdown. Tyreek Hill, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins have taken the early lead on the road here in Buffalo. Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And it makes the score 7-0. Patterson back out there to send this one away. Turn up past the 30. Pass midfield. Still going. One man to beat. Water running out. There's just 3 yards shy of the end zone.
Well, he gave up the first touchdown of the game, but how about the response? Big time return. Now it's their chance to try and put points on the board.
So quite a turn of events. This is 1st and goal from the 3.
Go.
loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
The job of any linebacker involves having enough strength to fight off a blocker and get to ball carriers, but in this case, think we can safely say he beat him right off the snap to get into the backfield and make that play.
They try again with Cook. And they'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. James Cook his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Bills are able to strike back quickly with an opening touchdown of their own.
Sometimes you get a first and goal, you're back near the 7, 8, 9-yard line, and you start thinking, maybe we'll run it here on first down to get half of what we need, so maybe we can have 2 or 3 shots at going for it from closer in. So this is a bonus right here. What a great run to work his way into the end zone.
Mitch Wishnowsky set to kick off.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
Take over first and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. They come into this one off the loss over the weekend, but you say if you're going to play a Thursday night game, this is the week to do it.
It certainly is, because you get right back out there, you don't have time to dwell on things. And look, your game plan is going to be a little more limited, but so is theirs. So that's when you just appeal to your top players. Guys, you make plays in this one, we out execute them, we can walk away with a win.
Ready.
Now H.N. on first and 10. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Now a stoppage here as we've got Bill shaken up on the play. We'll check on his status when we return to Orchard Park. Now a second and 10. Looking to pass. Tua. This one thrown underneath to H.N. He'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
And the Dolphins
Had the offense humming on the first drive. Not much has changed here on drive number 2.
I think a lot of times confidence just really kicks in for a team. They may have been confident going into the game, but once you prove it on a drive, it's hard to get out of that mindset, isn't it? And look, let's face it, we can always lock in on the skill position, guys. For those big fellas up front, they're really making this offense go early in the game.
Hey, get set. Out.
And they run the option here on first and 10. Inside the 15-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. I'll tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
He's going to step up and run. Slowing to us here. Still a little shy of the first down. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
6 yards.
This early in the game, it's all about making steady progress downfield, hoping to lead to early points. And you can do it with your actual play calls, or sometimes something a little more improvised, as we just saw there.
H.N. gets it from the line. And the Dolphins are going to be set up in a first and goal. He couldn't quite reach the chalk, but they'll have it at the 1-yard line.
That's another.
If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here.
Ready.
H.N. this in for the Dolphin touchdown. Okay, this has been a pretty strong start to the year for him on the ground, CD. It's just week 3. That's already 5 rushing touchdowns.
And you know he's got big grins on their faces besides the rest of the team. The strength and conditioning program, because he was awfully dedicated to what they put in front of him to get ready for this year. Got himself into terrific shape, and he's dominated here early on.
Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And it makes the score 14-7.
Bills 7.
And Patterson back out there to send this one away. This is picked up by the ball. This is brought all the way back. A fumble recovery and taken to the house for a Miami touchdown. Boy, still in the first quarter, and look out. I mean, they are on pace for over 80 points in this game. I don't know that they'll get there, CD, but this has been impressive to watch so far.
That certainly would be history to making, wouldn't it, partner? I'm glad we're here to actually watch and see if it actually happens. Although, like you, I have my doubts, but they are firmly in control of this game.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
At their own 35-yard line.
Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. Now, early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game, but I think when it comes within the division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally, because division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated, because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
They'll empty out the backfield. Coming up here with 5 receivers in the formation on 2nd and 6.
What's that?
Now Allen. Throws the outright, completes it to Samuel. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup. Leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
Third down and 1.
Alert! 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 What's that?
Allen gonna throw. These guys running back over the backfield. And he's going to have the Bills first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line.
What's that?
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. You talk about this Miami defense. They've been very good this year against the pass, currently holding on to a top 10 ranking at number 10.
You have to like the way that they've played in the first month. They have to be very proud being a top 10 unit against the pass. Their goal, though, in this one, see if they can improve that ranking.
What's that?
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Davis. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A pretty wild first quarter. 21-7, our score. Two running plays go backwards, so what's the call on 3rd and 13 now?
Ready? What's that?
Throwing now is Allen. That's caught right side by Palmer. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that.
12 yards.
They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down.
Can't we score? Okay. This is like watching paper. You do it. Come see it. Paying attention. Motion. Ready? Go.
So this drive going to continue following the conversion on 4th. Here's 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
What's that?
Now Allen. Bills are 1-1 through 2 games thus far. It's not a start that's going to set the world on fire, but they've been pretty solid nonetheless.
And the first thing that crosses my mind, it certainly beats the alternative of starting 0-2. I do think that this is a team that's going to take a little time to find its footing. Hard to navigate the always tough NFL.
2nd and 10.
Subs. What's that?
To the air. This is intercepted. And the Dolphins are going to take it over at their own 30-yard line. Before we came out to the booth, last thing he said when we went up the field, I want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
Andy, you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
The drive starts with a run from H.M. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Gregory Rousseau works his way in for the stop and the loss.
At the 29-yard line.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. Got his hand in the middle. It's him. They get him down, but now the throw takes him across the 40-yard line. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
A gain of 15. And the Dolphin first down.
Ready. Wait, team, wait.
Going to the air, Tagovailoa. He finds his man, Scott Moore. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
It's a gain of 9. Brings up
that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe the defender gets a hand in the way, it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so high the receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a good point there as they were able to connect.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
All right. All right, go ahead, go. Ready. Out
of the gun is a good H.M. And he still is yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. And Oliver through the line and hitting him for the loss.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Moore, the man in motion. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Trying to feed it into Moore, but it's intercepted. And the Bills face the tackle. They'll take it up 27. So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered. They had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And Charles, these early season in-division games are always interesting because you're still kind of figuring yourself out, but you want to know as much as you can about the opponent, especially when it's a division matchup. So there he goes outside. Inside the 20. Perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts. Right? Because once he took the ball, I mean, let's face it, that should have been just a big start. He's spending the time there. It's all he ran. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Wishnowski set to kick off.
Here is Wishnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And this one definitely not in the landing zone. In fact, it's over the back line. So this is going to come out to the 35. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here. And off to the races, down the right side. They'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Devon Achane, his 8th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Makes the score.
Extra point by Patterson, up and good. 14. And the lead now up to 14. And Patterson back out there to send this one away. Return going to come to a quick end as he was belted at the end of that one.
At their own 29-yard line.
Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration.
Calling a gain of 6 on the play. And it'll be second down.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 34-yard line.
Here's Allen. They'll get this over the middle here to Palmer. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
18.
Give him 18 on that one as the Bills are going to have a first down.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line.
Allen. It's incomplete.
Intended for
certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
Game clock at 2:01. Time for one final play before the 2-minute warning. Allen now looks to throw. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. And again, it's Allen. Rifles one, it's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Chandler Timber. And a terrific return as he brings his way all the way back to the 30. So cancel the interception, pass interference.
And you know what else gets canceled? The return yardage. Makes the play, but now it's all for naught.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. So the shotgun snap to Allen. It's incomplete. Took a shot.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up. Converged on his man and broke the play up.
Hey, tight. What's that?
To throw, it's Allen. And that was too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Well, so far on this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion.
Brown 80! Look out!
Here's Allen to throw it. Working the top of the field, he's got a man complete. And he's going to have the Bills first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
15 yards.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest at first half. But this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
Left side cut. Lose yards back to the 29. Calling a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on their early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
319! What's that?
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Allen. Has his man. It's Shakur. So it's a gain of 12 there on the reception. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
This is our last chance.
Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Allen. Pass to the ball's been taken in. And the Bears are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as they find a way to convert there on
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense got to find a better way of a catch. The shorter routes will be more against them.
And he gets halfway there, down to the 1-yard line.
It's a gain of
only a yard that time, second and goal. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Two of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on second and goal. Of the first half. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today is...
Well, this is one. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And control of the football, switching hands with very little time remaining until the half.
Mitch Wishnowski set to kick off.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30.
The Dolphins take over first and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And with 7 seconds remaining, not much time to really do anything.
Come on, high. Come on, hey, 21. Watch it, Oscar. Hey.
Tua sets up to pass it. And going deep for Hill. And I think that will make it intercepted, but he will be ruled incomplete. So this will go only as incomplete.
And they're not going to go quietly into this halftime break. They know they're in for a fight, so they're trying to make every possession count. They took the big shot there, but it winds up incomplete.
Ready.
Tua, the final shot before half. They set up the scoring. Rachel has it. Now he's loose again. He's got to get out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half. Oh, good looking return set up here. And they're going to have good stuff in field position. He's out of bounds, but not before he's across the 35. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. Well, Charles, in that first half, we saw a fair amount of offense on both sides of the football, and now the team trailing here will start with it in the third quarter.
And we both know this coach pretty darn well, don't we? Because his game planning is always on point. And now he's getting the ball to start the second half. The offensive drive in the first half. They'll put that all together and come out with something really strong, I believe, to get things going here in the third quarter.
First down.
Alert.
First and 10 at the 43-yard line.
We go.
Give the talk. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line.
On the play.
It's a gain of
That's
13 and a Buffalo
Bills
first down.
First down.
Sometimes it's hard to
First
believe,
and
but
10 at the
there are
30-yard
times
line.
this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
They'll look to throw here on first down. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far in front.
Offense is moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they're on a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
Hey, tight. 56. Middle. What is that?
The throw once more on second and 10. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins 14.
It's a gain of 16 yards.
That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
First down.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll. And now they're set up with a first and 10.
Alert! What's that?
Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. Well, that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
It
And the
leads
red
to
zone
second and
precision
10.
is the watchword. If the throw's a little too early, too late, maybe off a little bit, going to be a good chance that any attempt is going to be a contested one, and that one falls incomplete.
Now Allen again. This is Coleman. Bills touchdown. Chase Palmer. 14-yard touchdown. And the Bills have come back to make it a 2-point game. Those are the touchdowns that aren't just scored on Sundays or on Monday night. Those are the ones that are scored during the week because they had that preparation and a great route run.
Oh, I love that observation because you don't just roll out on game day and say, okay, go run this route and let's get it done. That means exactly what you said. The practice had to occur beforehand, which led to the timing, which led to the touchdown.
So now Allen and the Bills going to stay out and go for two.
The Bills are lining up for a two-point conversion.
What's that?
They'll try to run here. And he'll get into the end zone, and those 2 points are going to tie the game. They go with the option on the two-point try, and the decision to pitch it worked out.
Almost felt like basketball, didn't it? Remember when the dribbler draw, drive, and dish? How about that one? Drew everyone to him, dished it to the running back. He takes it in.
Mitch Wishnowski set to kick off.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. And that one not returnable. It's over the back line of the end zone, so that's going to be spotted up at the 30-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Their halftime lead now evaporated. We're back to level following that touchdown a moment ago.
And that shouldn't change the mindset a whole lot from an offensive perspective because they already knew it's going to be a hard-fought game. Now they just need to go execute their game plan and keep moving.
Unfortunate time for the penalty there. That cancels out a positive play from this offense.
Well, not to sound too trite or too accepting, but you and I both know it happens. You got to accept it and move on. Yardage, you got to get back. Focus on the next play and move on.
Looking to pass. Tua. He's got the connection to Moore. Able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. A nice little gain.
And
the selling points of the in route is against the quarterback. A really nice sight line to his receiver, and almost on a direct shot, able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
Third quarter, all tied up. This is 2nd and 10. Now Tua. They'll swing this out wide. Here's Ochin. Only 3 there, so it leaves him with 3rd and 7 ahead.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Now 3rd down and 7.
21G. Go ahead.
Here's Tua. Throw right side, going to be caught here by Waddle. And this won't do it. He needed 6. He only got halfway there. The Dolphins will send out the punter now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And he couldn't get it to check up. That gets all the way into the end zone for a touchback.
Their own 20-yard line.
Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown. And the last time I looked at the repeat that towards his defense, they were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
In fact, it's just a battle of words in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive. And they both have specific comes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
3rd down and
Smart
3
enough to
yards
avoid the
go.
taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Allen going to throw. That is incomplete.
I think it's safe to say they've made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he was fortunate on that one, not to have another turnover on his ledger.
Mitch
The Bills send the punter
in
out
punt formation.
as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. He gets this away. It's a good one. Drawing toward the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot
take over?
They say just outside the 20-yard line.
22-yard line.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
Old school coaches don't necessarily run that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. And they'll come up 2nd and 7. Tua going to throw. That's caught by Wilson. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a first down.
It's safe. Go ahead.
Now a toss right side. Ochin with it. touchdown.
Touchdown, Miami.
Devon Achane. His third touchdown of the game, number 9 on the season. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. Go ahead and give him the hat trick. He's been in the end zone now 3 times.
You toss your fedora first, okay? You go ahead and do that. But let's be honest about it. That third one, that's the most spectacular run he's had in the ballgame. It's almost as if he's been playing his own game of, can I top this? And each run has been more spectacular than the last.
Patterson back out there to send this one away. Stay on his feet. Good field position here as he's out of bounds up about the 34-yard line. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during the series, but it will be even worse now. It's going to happen again right here. They've got to get going. And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
They'll empty the backfield. A 5-receiver set on 2nd and 3.
Hey, tight. What's that?
Now Allen. On the throw, running too much that time. It's incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice. Or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Throwing now is Allen. First down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Allen to throw once more. Looking on the outright and feeling secure. And brought down, but able to get to the 30-yard line. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now Allen. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
And he still doesn't have a catch. We're into the second half. I think it's a little bit of a surprise to me, but that was one he should have caught.
Absolutely. That was his best opportunity right there. He dropped it.
Middle.
Again, they'll throw without it. Rest of the time incomplete. And he's got another 1st down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 17-yard line.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
Up the middle, it's Moore. And he's eaten up the line of scrimmage. Lining up the yard down to the 16.
At the 16-yard line.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secure before they slide out and try to chip someone at the second level.
scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Two runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Fourth quarter coming up here on Thursday Night Prime Time. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Bills on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 8. Here's Allen. I think he got there. No. He's short by maybe a foot. Maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
It's 4th down.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
Touchdown here, but not before he does pick up the first.
It's a gain of 2.
They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th.
1st and goal at the 6-yard line.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. So the shotgun snap to Allen. They'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. Curtis Samuel with 2 touchdowns on the season in this game. And the Bills are an extra point away from tying this game. We're on the 4th. Time of pass now for the point after. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter.
That ties the game, 35-35. Mitch Wishnowsky set to kick
What a
off.
start to the week this has been. All tied 4th quarter as the kick's away. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21.
Dolphins take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this 4th quarter to try and grab that lead back. He is out of bounds right at the 34. 149 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night gets going on.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. Well, he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. He'll get 8 on the scramble there, but he's 2nd in a couple.
I think the defense surprised him there with that blitz on 1st down, but give him credit. Stayed cool under pressure and still found a way through the extra rushers for positive yardage. Well done.
And from the 42 now, here's 2nd and 2. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Full compilation. And he's got 1st down as a tackle made at the Bills' 34-yard line. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
And partner in a tie game in the 4th quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars, and he came through with a nice catch right there.
So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 34. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. Takes a shot and says this will be incomplete.
Intended for
their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Ready.
Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Now we'll take this and run. And Tua going to slide to a halt, but he will have the first down.
It's a gain of 11.
It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
First and 10.
Clock running under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. As he throws there, incomplete.
A momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10.
Ready. Come on,
More the man in motion. Tua sets up to pass it. This will be caught. It's Waddle. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Jalen Waddle, a 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Dolphins answer back with a touchdown of their own to break our tie and take the lead here in the 4th. Extra point by Patterson, up and good. They will take a 7-point lead.
Bills 35.
And Patterson back out there to send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. And now, after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this 4th quarter. Plenty of time on the clock. And the good boys are involved. They're going to stop them right at the line.
On the tackle.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
2nd and 10.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Round 80. What's that?
Here's Allen to throw it. And that incomplete to his receiver, Palmer. They get 6. That'll leave him with 3rd and 4.
Single draft route here, lined up out left and trying to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4.
180. Alert. What's that?
To the air, Allen. And the comeback may start out. It's intercepted. And they'll set a shot in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
At the 45-yard line.
I tell you, Brandon, it seems like this guy's been all over the field so far. That's his 2nd interception of the game. And so much of playing defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to defending the pass, is all about positioning and technique. And this is fantastic work on both fronts there.
On the toss, here's H.M. First times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally set up to stop the run. But you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that 1st down carry.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. He'll dump this off to Achan.
Pass. Complete to Devon Achan. A 7-yard gain on the play. And it's 3rd down.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. Now, this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Looking to pass. Tour. And he will have the first down. And even with the 3 timeouts on the other side, they're going to be able to run this nearly all the way down now. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Go ahead.
Now Tua just going to back this through on the end line. Nice play design there with a touch pass. Looked good at the start, but the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
Ready.
Running right, here's Achan. He is going to have a Miami first down, and the Dolphins are going to win the football game.
And that's the type of run that they're looking for, because they'll need to continue to rely on him to move the sticks in this tight game in order to preserve this lead.
It's 1st and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away.
Get set. Ready, team.
Charles, normally when you see a group score this many points, it's a complete blowout. But instead, they needed every single one of those in this close, high-scoring affair.
And, Brandon, I'm still on the edge of my seat after that one, because when you have that much scoring and it still comes down to a one-possession game at the end, that's not something we see very often. In this case, these offenses, they brought it. The defenses, they're going to need some work going forward.
So for Miami, they get back in the win column as they move to 2-1 now on the year. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for Buffalo, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.
Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in.
We are down on the bayou as you get a look inside the Caesars Superdome here in New Orleans. Tonight we kick off week 3 with a great Thursday night matchup, as it'll be the Atlanta Falcons taking on the New Orleans Saints. About set to begin another week of football, and happy to have you along. We are underway on Thursday night primetime. And taken down just past the 20 and the 21-yard line.